I agree with everything Chris said. Just a couple other points. I think what we're starting to see now, at least from my perspective, is the combination of manned and unmanned is very powerful. And there's certain things that both those platforms that can do that that the other one maybe cannot do as well. I think we're going to see that going forward. As far as the F-35 being the last one, I mean, I don't know if anybody knows that today. I will tell you, the F-35 platform is flexible enough to have derivatives and look at different things, and it's something that Lockheed Martin has started to scratch the surface on is a derivative of the F-35 and how it could maybe fill a niche or a role or a certain thing that we maybe don't envision today, but 10 years from now we see. And so a derivative to the F-35 would be much less expensive from a developmental dollar standpoint to do that instead of having another clean sheet aircraft.
In that similar vein, would it be useful, regardless of whether it were manned or unmanned, although presumably it would be manned, would it be useful for Congress to begin thinking now and then, of course, allocating the dollars for a 6th generation fighter, just the very initial research and development process?
Well, I'll echo in here, and the other guys can jump in too. We need to define what 6th gen is exactly, and is that, you know, multispectral stealth? Is that a self-healing structure? You know, what exactly is that? The 5th generation capabilities, you know, we see as very powerful in providing a very unprecedented capability today. I don't think we really know exactly what that next generation of fighter aircraft is and what those capabilities are. Maybe we'll be able to define that as we go forward, but to write down exactly what is 6th gen today, I think, is a tall order.
We have time for, excuse me, we have time for probably 1 or 2 more questions. Okay, so what I will do is go ahead and, for a good of the order, I want to go ahead and go down the panel and put them back on the spot and just offer any sort of closing remarks, thoughts from earlier today, anything we didn't touch on that you'd like to talk about.
One of the things that challenges, and we talked about budgets and a lot of things, one of the things that we all of us in industry are looking at very closely is certainly the budget process and how we move forward. One of the challenges I know in our business for commercial derivatives has been that, as an example, every C-40 that the Guard reserves and even the active duty has acquired have all been through the supplemental process, through congressional ads. So one of the challenges that we always have is to be able to be ready to support that and put the resources against it. So we work very closely with the reserves to make sure that as that is being supported, by supporters on the Hill, that we make sure that we've got line positions and airplanes available so that we can deliver a capability as quickly as possible after that is put on the budget. So it's a challenge that we have, certainly when you have an ongoing production line. As an example, for our C-17, many times you don't have that luxury of having a robust production line. We only have to worry about getting 1 or 2 slots out of a couple thousand. So a lot of times what we're up against is the funding constraints put a lot of pressure on us in industry to make that decision, is do we try and protect the defense interests of the United States and the production capability by putting our own profit, our own money at risk to start ordering long lead items so that you can get the capability that you need? Or do we play a game that says we're just going to go ahead and stop, and if you want to restart the line or want to pay us, you're going to end up paying the price in the long term. So I can't speak on behalf of the other companies, but I'm very proud of how the Boeing company has moved ahead and said, you know, we are a national defense industry. And so we're not just gaining our profits in dollars, but we have an obligation to the United States of America. And so as we go forward and take a look at that, if we believe the nation's commitment is to move forward, then we as a company make those commitments as well. So I'm really, I really enjoyed my service to the nation, but I'm equally enjoying my service to the Boeing company because I think we're doing the same thing for the United States. And thank you for the opportunity today.
Yes, I'll echo that. Thank you for inviting us here today. We enjoyed sharing our thoughts. Just some closing thoughts I had. One of the things that resonated with me in the panel this morning was the fact that the Air Force Reserve has to pursue solutions where they can get 80%, 70 to 80% of the capability, but at 20 to 30% of the cost. I personally worked on some of those programs back in the early 90s and mid 90s with the F-16 aircraft and getting the data link solution on there. I think that's one of the biggest challenges the F-35 is going to have going forward. When the initial requirements were set for the F-35, it was a balanced design. It's not just lethality and survivability, but also affordability and maintainability. And those tenets are going to be what we have to continue to focus on going forward. Affordability has got to play a role. So I have a lot of engineers and scientists and technologists that work with me, and they come to me with a great widget, and boy, we can't wait to get this on the aircraft. Oh, but it costs, $300 million, okay? And it's going to add weight. Well, we've got to take all of these other things into account and not just have capability be king as it has been in the past. We've got to have affordable solutions that are going forward.
So I'm the only thing standing between them and the door. I'll be very brief. Thanks for the opportunity to come and hopefully answer your questions today. That was really the value in us sitting up here. If I've learned nothing else, it's that we should listen twice as much as we talk and focus on program execution from an industry perspective. So that's the message that I'll carry forward, and we view opportunities like today as venues to better understand what the reserves need, understanding that they're part of the total force, understanding they're going to be around for a long time. It's a great opportunity for us to exchange information, and we're here to listen more than we are to talk. And these are going to be some trying times with regard to QDR decisions and fiscal decisions, very important times for our nation. So thanks again for the opportunity.
Well, thank each of you for joining us today and for being here this morning and catching the remarks in the previous panel, and all of you for joining us today. I'm going to turn it over to David.
Thanks, and I just wanted to say thank you to Mackenzie for being a part of this program today. Our relationship with the Heritage Foundation is strong, and we appreciate your support, especially of the Reserve and what you do there. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for attending. I hope you got something out of today, and you'll consider attending another DEF forum here at ROA. Thank you.